Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from the John Parrish Jr. Rink in Windsor. We're going to stand for our national anthem. National anthem and two fierce rivals between Windsor and Port Hawkesbury, the towns of Windsor and Port Hawkesbury. They date back to 1966. And Port Hawkesbury is the oldest junior hockey team in Nova Scotia. Windsor, the second oldest. And anyway, I was in grade primary or grade 1 when Port Hawkesbury and Windsor met in the rink that burned down now back in 1981. But the rink was packed, and Port Hawkesbury and Windsor was playing for the provincial championship, which Port Hawkesbury won that year. And they had the former NHLer Hilliard Graves playing for the Straight Pirates. But tonight it's the Windsor Oxen and the Port Hawkesbury Straight Pirates here at the John Parrish Jr. Rink in Windsor. We're a little late in getting started tonight. Port Hawkesbury's bus was just a few minutes late pulling into the John Parrish Jr. Rink. But now we're set to go. And I'll fill you in a little bit on Port Hawkesbury as well as the Oxen as we go along tonight. There's Fowler. Fowler's got the puck and Manning. Manning shoots it in. Manning is the Oxen's leading goal scorer. The Oxen come into tonight's game at 2-1. Well, I thought I had it here, but apparently not. 2-1, and the Port Hawkesbury Straight Pirates are 3-3. Here's 17 for the Straight Pirates, Caden Power. He's a guy that can bury the puck in a hurry. Power has it, tries to get it out in front, but fails. And that's 93 for the Jasper Fitch, who plays a very steady game for the Oxen. The Oxen undefeated on home ice this year. They defeated Sackville and Brookfield. I'm sorry, yes, Sackville and Brookfield. And here come the Oxen, number 88 with a good shot, Jacob Gerhardt. Gerhardt wore 21 last year for the Windsor team. They're battling for it at center ice. And Craig Saunier picks it up. Saunier can't get it in. He just pulls it behind the net. They bump along the boards. And that's McLeod for the Oxen. Jake Kurlock, he clears it down the ice. And Nolan McNeil picks it up. The Oxen get it back. That's Hartnell, number 9. And 25 for the Straight Pirates. Ben McDonald starts out. And he gets it over to Blake McDonnell. McDonnell going in, he gets it a pass across, but he can't quite put his stick on it. And the Oxen come back up. Paul Maloney, he had a goal here last Friday night. The Straight Pirates coming in. Ben McDonald and Jesse Gillis. Jesse Gillis is another goal scorer for the Straight Pirates. And they're back out at center ice right now. Pass up to Blake McDonnell for the Pirates. And the puck was down. Cody Hebb picks it up for the, and he has goals in both home games this year. In fact, I believe Cody had 2 in one game. The Oxen looking, or hopefully looking to play more defense straight through 60 minutes. They have had a couple of 4-1 leads going into the third period this year that they have lost, or they would have a better record than 2-2-1, because they were up 4-1 on the Colts in the opening game of the season and lost it in overtime. Oh, there's a close-in shot there by Josh Gillis. And Luke McEachran, and they had a 4-1 lead on the Lumberjacks last Saturday night in Bridgewater, and it ended up not going the Oxen way. So they hope to pick things up here. Now there's a beautiful pass right out, 24 for the Oxen. Quinn Kenny, a great chance, but he couldn't quite find the net. There's Lachlan Levy, and Lachlan Levy goes down. Levy still has it, but he gets it back to Nick Fittido. There's Fletcher. Fletcher going to try to capitalize on it. And then to Levy for a minute, but then the Straight Pirates pick it up out to center ice where the Oxen get it back. The Oxen trying to regroup right now from behind their own net. And setting a pass right there. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, and Dylan Manning just misses a breakaway there. Beautiful pass from the Oxen blue line. And there's a shot that Graydon Mole makes for the Oxen. Port Hawkesbury out shooting the Oxen 5-2 right now, but we've only played 5 minutes and 10 seconds so far. Yeah, there's 2 fierce rivalries here. Windsor and Port Hawkesbury, they've batted a few playoff series over the years. There was a classic one back in somewhere in the mid-90s. And no, it wasn't. It was in 2001 is when it was. And Port Hawkesbury and Windsor met in the Nova Scotia Junior Championship final. And the Straight Pirates took a 3-0 lead in the best-of-7 final. And Windsor came back to win 4 in a row. And then the 2 teams met in the Don Johnson Cup that was held in Windsor that year. And lo and behold, didn't the Windsor team win the Don Johnson Cup. Here's the Oxen. Oh, they were going to try to clear it out, but it's blowing dead. Landon McIntosh, number 22 for the Straight Pirates. He's in the top 5 in goal scoring and points in the league so far this year. McIntosh has 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. And then Caden Power is the second leading scorer for the Straight Pirates, 3 goals and 6 assists. For the Oxen, Dylan Manning, 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points. Micah Tucker, 1 goal, 6 assists for 7 points. And I mentioned Cody Hebb. Cody has 3 goals and an assist this year for the Oxen. Here comes Tucker out there now. Tucker lost it at center ice, and then he got it back as the pass when Ben McDonald made the pass to Tucker. Wrong way, but the Straight Pirates get it back and go behind their own net. Going in, soft shot, and the Port Hawkesbury goaltender And just trying to see who the goaltender is there for the Pirates. Trying to get his number there. Little mix-up down there along the boards, but nothing too serious. I was in East Hants last night in Lance at the Keith Miller Sportsplex, and saw something that I thought I would never talk about diversity in all facets of sport in Nova Scotia, but 4 female officials refereed. It was the first time in Nova Scotia junior history that 4 ladies refereed Nova Scotia junior hockey game. And as it was, they called 18 minutes and penalties, and they were all in the second period. No minors in the first, no minors in the third. And they looked very poised and very, very good at what they did last night. So it goes to show you just how far we've come in hockey. And whether we'll see it again this year, it's hard to say. But 4 female officials in Lance last night. The Penguins defeated the Pictou County Scotians 7-2. There's only one other game tonight in the league. The junior minors from Cape Breton, they're trying desperately to get their first win of the year. They're 0-7 right now, and they're playing the Colts in Shearwater. And the Colts, they're back to looking like they did last year, and they were the Nova Scotia junior champions last year. Here's McLeod coming up for the Oxen to Hartnell. Hartnell trying to keep the puck on his stick. And it's Cohen Hickey coming down, but he loses it. It goes to Walsh. Dylan Walsh for the Oxen. Cam Walsh, I should say. Cam Walsh. So that's Tucker and McEachran. Tucker for the Oxen, McEachran for the Street Pirates. After that scuffle, the 2 of them were set off, 2 minutes each for roughing. So just over about a minute and a little under a minute and a half left of those 2 minors. The teams are playing 4-on-4. Jake Kurlock has it at the point. He gets it over to Nick Vidido. Vidido plays a very steady game for the Oxen. You rarely see him make a mistake. There's Vidido again. He takes a shot. He's in trying to get the puck out front. The Oxen grab a hold of it again. Comes back to Kurlock, and Kurlock gets it back into Gerhardt. Gerhardt, he still has it. Tries to get it back to Jake Kurlock, and he does. Kurlock keeps the puck in, and they battle with it along the boards. And here comes William Davison. Davison has it, and he's rubbed up along the boards by one of the Street Pirates. And the Street Pirates trying to come out, and they do, but the puck goes almost all the way down. Didn't quite make it all the way. And there's Vidido, picks it up, and I believe that's going to be an icing. 11 seconds left in the minors, and the teams will be back at 5-on-5. Here's Manning for the Oxen. Manning moving in, and then he drops back for a second. Oh, Tucker lost the puck. That's 19 for the Colin Perrier for the Street Pirates, and it's all the way back to center ice, and it's picked up there by Cohen Hickey again. Back to Colin Perrier. Hickey has it. Tries to get it out, but can't quite get it out all the way in front for a clean shot, and they end up with no shot at all. The Oxen have it at their own blue line. They start out with it. There's Manning coming with it. Manning goes to take a shot, and he can't get it through the defense. And there's Caden Kurlock this time. He's out with Maloney. on defense for the Oxen. Here's Tucker. Tucker with the puck. Clears it in. And that's Cam Walsh. Walsh controlling it right now. Trying to see if he can get it onto the stick of another Oxen, but then it bounces out and goes back down into Oxen territory. Maloney picks it up, and he starts up the ice. He gets it across to Hartnell. Hartnell all the way down before he passes it over to 18 for the Oxen. They're battling for it there. Nobody really getting any control of it, and then it goes up and it hits the hits one of the bars high up here in the arena in Windsor. A 0-0 tie. The Port Hawkesbury Straight Pirates, the Windsor Oxen, with 10:08 to go here in the opening period. The Straight Pirates out shooting the Oxen 8-4. The Oxen have it now. They clear it back in behind the Straight Pirates net. It's picked up there by 92. Aiden McLeod. Here come the Pirates down. That's Henry Dugan. And he has 2 goals and 3 assists for the Pirates. The Oxen starting out with it again. That's Hartnell. Hartnell makes a nice move around number 3 for the Pirates. Hartnell takes a shot right there in front again. A nice shot there by Gerhardt. Jake Kerluck has it. He gets it across to Nick Vitino. And the Port Hawkesbury goaltender forced to cover up there. Thomas Garapi in nets for the Port Hawkesbury Straight Pirates tonight. You spell his name Gariepy, Garapi. And then, of course, we have Graydon Mole, who has done wonders for the Oxen in a lot of ways this year and was outstanding last year with the junior team here at Windsor. There's Jake Kerluck at the blue line. And then Cody Hebb picks it up, gets it across to 13. Matthew Shields. And Matthew's another player with 3 goals and 3 assists for the Maple Leafs. And that's 17, takes a shot, rips it there. Wilson Davison for the Oxen. And the Port Hawkesbury goaltender is forced to go down. Another huge crowd here tonight. They're jamming them in here to the Windsor Arena, and it's and they're standing up all along the banners. But I would say that you have another crowd that would be awfully close to 500, if not 525 here tonight. Tremendous support being shown to the Oxen. There's Fitch. Fitch tries to keep the puck in for the Oxen, but it goes back to Shields. And here comes pass out to Fowler. And then Shields has it over to Davison. Davison takes a shot. Hits the side of the net. .22 tries to dipsy doodle around Jake or Caden Kerluck for the Pirates. And that's Landon McIntosh, who I talked earlier, having 6 goals and 6 assists on the season. And he's out there now playing on the wing for the Straight Pirates. But the whistle blows it down again. Yeah, I was talking about the only other game tonight in the league, the Junior Miners and the Colts. The Colts traveled to Eskasoni last Sunday afternoon, and Eskasoni was 6-0 going into the game. The Colts were, I believe they were 2-1 at the time. but they hammered Eskasoni Junior Eagles 9-0 down on home ice in Eskasoni. There's Fitch clearing it in for the Oxen. Eskasoni is down for a game this weekend in the metro area. They play the Sackville Blazers tomorrow night at 5:30 in Sackville. And the Blazers off to a rough start at 1-5. That one was close. That one was close by Kenny. It didn't quite make the net, but it was awfully close. There's Jake Kurlock, and Jasper Fitch tried to knock the puck and keep it in. Caden Kurlock has it. There's Liam Trinham. And he's another player that you have to watch too for the Pirates. There's the Oxen. And that's a Cam Walsh shoved into the boards there. The puck comes back to the Oxen. Here comes Cam Walsh. Walsh gets it up to Micah Tucker, but it's blowing down. Here's Angus Berry coming in for the Pirates, but he can't move in on the net. He's taken outside along the boards as they fight forward in behind the Oxen net, or just to the immediate left of Graydon Mole. That's the Oxen with it again for a second, but it's stolen away by Craig Saunier. Saunier trying to keep it in for the straight Pirates, but fails. And now they're piled up, as they were all tangled up, and now everybody's mixing it up there. The sticks are up. That's Fowler. And Micah Tucker for the Oxen, along with Cam Walsh. And 26 and 24, Kyle Nearing and Ben McDonald for the straight Pirates. So we'll see what penalties might be coming up here, if any. But it looks like we might have maybe a minor or two here. The officials are talking about it there. Still having a chat. Not 100% sure what's going to be assessed, but the referee's now talking to the scorekeeper. We're going to find out here in just a minute what the penalties were for. Port Hawkesbury's got one, but I don't see the Oxen going to the penalty box yet. But the referees are having a chat with head coach Layton for the Oxen. And it's going to be a power play for the Oxen. So after all of the skirmishing and joshing that was done there, the straight Pirates end up with the only penalty. We'll see what it was for. I'm sure it was high sticking or roughing. The Oxen on the power play. That's Hartnell. Hartnell has it. He takes it over center ice, moving in. But can't get it across, and then it comes back to McLeod stick on the blue line. Up to, oh, there! They bang away at it, and the Oxen finally get a goal. And that was Dylan Manning, I believe, that took the backhanded shot, and it finally went past Thomas Garapi of the Straight Pirates. So for Manning, that's now his fourth goal of the year. So a short-lived power play for the Maple Leafs. They're now back to 5-on-5. The announcer never even had time to announce the penalty before the Oxen scored. There's Davison coming in. He takes it away from the Pirates. And Davison lets a shot go. He's cruising the net there. Oh, just shot it a little bit wide. There's the Oxen, another shot. And Garibay covers up. And we're going to have another little mix-up. But it doesn't look like too much, no. So Cam Walsh and Caden Kurlock get assists on Manning's goal. 14:10 was the time of the .550 was left in the period there. Here come the Oxen now. 12 runs into 20. That's Cody Head running into Josh McDonald, but the puck comes down to the Oxen blue line. And Vidido has it. He tries to get it up to Shields, and he does. Shields moves in, and he's knocked off the puck there. And it goes behind the Straight Pirates net. The Oxen still have it. Now the play's blowing down. Excuse me. I don't know. Caden Kurlock. And I believe the assist there was Cam Walsh as well. So the Oxen are leading the Straight Pirates here 1-0 with 4:15 to play in the opening period. Face-off now down just to the left of Graydon Mole, the left face-off circle. There's Walsh with it. He tries to bring it out. He gets it up over the blue line. Not far enough for an icing. So that's Luke McEachran that picks it up for the, but it goes back to Micah Tucker. And then all of a sudden it's down in the Oxen end. And back out, 17 for the Pirates. Great chance. Oxen a little bit sloppy there as they gave up the puck, and 17 was standing right there for the Caden Power for the Straight Pirates, but to no avail. Mole makes the save that had to be had, that he had to do. Another face-off of the Oxen end. There's a save by Mole again. And the Oxen, right now, Matthew Shields is serving a minor penalty. Shields gets one for roughing. Here come the Oxen shorthanded. There's a shot, goes in. Mitchell tries to take a stab at it after Garibay had it covered up. And it draws a reaction from the Straight Pirates. So Matthew Shields serving a 2-minute minor for roughing. And now, Hartnell's going to get a penalty here. And it doesn't look like the Straight Pirates, so for the next 50 seconds, the Oxen are going to be down 2 men. The Straight Pirates will have a 5-on-3. McEachran at the blue line for the Straight Pirates. Gets it into Angus Berry. And here the Oxen, they got a hold of it. And they're coming down now. The shot goes in on Garapi. And penalty to William Hartnell, 2 minutes for slashing. So the Port Hawkesbury Straight Pirates still have 21 seconds in their 5-on-3 advantage. That's Manning with the face-off there. He wins it for the Oxen, dumps it in, and he chases after the puck there. And here come the Straight Pirates. Craig Saunier starts out with it. Saunier still has it. He gets it over to Liam Trenum. Trenum took quite a shot there. And then there was a collision. And that doesn't help Manning. I didn't see just exactly what happened there, but Manning looking for the puck, or he's trying to keep the play off, and I guess he bumped him somehow. So the Oxen, no, that's the Pirates. So I don't see any Pirates in the penalty box yet. So we're just trying to see what's going on here. 2:16 to play here in the opening period. The referee having a discussion with the Straight Pirates. Maybe it's just posted on the scoreboard incorrectly. But we'll hear on the announcement. That's the only thing I know, because it's not adding up. There's finally a Straight Pirate in the penalty box. Number 4, Liam Trenum. So he goes off. So the Oxen are still shorthanded for another 1 minute. And it's 5-on-4 out there right now. Craig Saunier takes it in. Can't do too much with it as it goes along the boards. And there's McLeod. The puck gets up. McLeod is up the ice, takes it at center. And here comes Tucker. And Tucker's knocked off. Here comes Craig Saunier again. There's another mix-up. Fans calling for a penalty, but gonna leave it alone here this time. The referee is. And there's another kerfluffle, and the Oxen go to the ice. That's 81, Paul Maloney, that was knocked on his derriere. But starting to get a little bit rough here as the teams are mixing it up. Last minute of play in the opening period, with the Oxen leading the Straight Pirates 1-0. There's Maloney. He keeps Ben McDonald from taking the puck for the Straight Pirates. It's now back behind the Port Hawkesbury net. And Cale Campbell trying to do something with it, but he can't, as he's knocked off the puck by William Hartnell. The Oxen still have it in the Port Hawkesbury end. Port Hawkesbury trying to get it out. That's Blake Bechdel with it. He's trying to clear it. He gets it up to Carlin Sampson. There's the Oxen taking it behind the Port Hawkesbury net, but they can't get it out right in front. And there you have it. The first period is now complete here. The Port Hawkesbury Straight Pirates out shooting the Windsor Oxen 13-9. But the most important part, the Oxen have a 1-0 lead after the opening period here at the John Paris Jr. Rink in Windsor. So that's the way it stands. The goal for the Oxen, Dylan Manning, with 5:50 to go in the opening period. The teams mixed were starting to get a little bit rough, and there were quite a few penalties called there, especially in the latter stages of this first period. But it's 1-0 Windsor Oxen over the Port Hawkesbury Straight Pirates. We'll be back in just a few minutes to bring you the second period.